Shalom, family of Shemani Laya. Thank you for joining me in Unsectarian Wisdom, and as usual, I'm a wise, wealthy, rich, celestial being that is loved by the Most High Creator. Let's go ahead and jump in, family. We getting back into the knowledge book. You see it above me in the corner. We starting from page 41. Let's go ahead. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna read the past 3 paragraphs from the last video first. They not long. It's honestly it's not long at all. It might as well be 1 paragraph, but I just want to read it again real quick because I thought it was I like what it said anyway, and I believe it's gonna flow into more of what we're gonna be reading today anyway. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get in, family. That was so random. Anyway, the enlightening paths shown to you in heaven are separate from your religious books. Those who attain its genuine meaning must come to the world at least 6 times in order to comprehend what is what. The sourness of a raw apple and the sweetness of a ripe one are differentiated in this manner. Hold on, I gotta read that again. I want to explain that a little bit. The enlightening paths shown to you in heaven are separate from your religious books. Those who attain its genuine meaning must come to the world at least 6 times in order to comprehend what is what. The sourness of a raw apple and the sweetness of a ripe one are differentiated in this manner. Basically, family, once again, it's talking about reincarnation. You're going to have to come back here again. And when it's talking about a sour apple and a ripe apple, it's talking about the difference between, from the best of my understanding, living a life that is the difference between living a good life, a righteous life, a life that's more fulfilling, a life that doesn't have so much calamity, and then a life where it's just everything's always falling apart. Everything's crap. Maybe you're a horrible person, maybe you're a criminal, or maybe you just have horrible luck just all around. You're a slave, the masters abuse you. It's so you can know both sides. Because in your true form, where we truly come from, you're everything. You have no feelings about anything. You're indifferent because you are everything. You don't need anyone or anything. You just are, just as the universe. So the only way for you to experience, if there was a such thing as good and evil, is to come here into the matrix and experience. But in reality, there is no such thing as good as evil. So we come here to experience good and evil. So Lucifer and Yahusha, or Jesus, whatever you want to call him, actually, in a way, family, they go hand in hand. You cannot have one without the other. Because if it's good all the time, you won't appreciate it, because that's all there is. You won't know anything other. So actually good will become bad. You get what I'm saying? So you have to have one to appreciate the other, or vice versa. So what else did I want to say? So when it says come back to the world 6 times, yeah, family, once again. Family, the more you look, if you don't believe in past lives right now, but you have a genuine desire in your heart to understand it at least, or know more about it, as the Bible says, knock and keep on knocking until someone answers, right? Pray, meditate, fast, research it, and I promise over time. And it's not going to happen overnight. Like this reincarnation path of mine, family, this is like years in the making. 4, 5, 6 years, I can't remember, before the first time, not necessarily the first time I heard it, but the first time I really took a moment to really think about it and ponder on it. And it's been years since then. And like my faith in reincarnation, to be honest with you, family, really wasn't that strong until sometime, I would guess, didn't really start to build up into where it is now until sometime last year. So with anything, family, it takes time. You keep studying. And as I continue to keep studying, and it just keeps showing up. It just keeps showing up, and I keep getting more understanding. At least that's how my downloads work. But let me keep going. The frequency adjustments. Okay, let me start all over, and then I'm going to keep going. The enlightening paths shown to you in heaven are separate from your religious books. Those who attain... Oh, also, let me say that. They're separate from religious books. Family, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Also, don't believe nothing I say, but read line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. With all that, get understanding. Do your own research. Don't believe nothing I say, but search these books out yourself. Do your own reading, because the understanding has to come from within you. It don't matter how much I tell you this is the truth in this. If it doesn't agree with you, if it doesn't sync, if it doesn't, like, it's a feeling. If you don't have a feeling, if it, like I said, if it doesn't agree with your mind and spirit, then it's just not for you at this moment. You know, but I can still be planting seeds right now that will be watered and will sprout 2, 4, 5 years from now. So anyway, there are many ways. Look, okay. Many will take the wide way, right? And not knowing that the wide way leads to hell, because that's the easy way. But few will find the narrow path, because that's the hard way, right? I know I didn't say it correctly all the way, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So, but what I always say too is there are many roads that lead to the narrow path. You might start off, you might start off with a horrible family situation and end up a criminal. You might start out in a good situation and end up a criminal. You don't know where people's lives are. You know what I'm saying? So you can't judge the beginning from the end. Anything is possible with faith, and especially with the power of the Creator. Anything's possible with the Creator. So what I'm saying is there's one path. There's one path, and that's the truth. But many roads, if you continue to put the effort in and the time, will lead you eventually to that narrow path. If you continue to push, if you continue to have faith and don't give up or don't give in to the world and to your fleshly desires all the way. You know, I mean, yes, we're human, but there's a such thing, a balance. Balance is key, family. So that's what I want to say about that. When it's talking about separate religious books, it's not to say don't read the books. It's not saying there isn't wisdom and there's truth in them, but don't stop there. Too many people get stuck in religion. Too many people get stuck in Christianity. Too many people get stuck in Islam. Too many people get stuck in just Buddhism. Too many people get stuck in just a particular religion when the truth is everywhere. That, I'm telling you, family, that's, you know what? Maybe it's not for me to say that right now. Okay, the enlightening path shown to you in heaven are separate from your religious books. Those who attain its genuine meaning must come to the world at least 6 times in order to comprehend what is what. The sourness of a raw apple and the sweetness of a ripe one are different in this manner. The frequency adjustments of those who will evolve, we mean the evolvement deserving the firmament plane, are made by the coats. The frequency adjustments of those who will evolve, we mean the evolvement deserving the firmament plane, are made by the coats here. The data they receive is the genuine enlightenment itself, and they are given all the universal powers. They are conscious of what they are and what they are not. That is, they are the triple coats of the medium, and these are the coats of the essence, the word, the I. We will explain them one by one, but in our later messages. For now, with all our love. Oh, just real quick. Just what came to my mind, family, real quick, before we head on to what we weren't reading last time. I just wanted to touch more on this. With that movie with Mark Wahlberg, I forget what it's called, and I've done a video on it. Infinite, right? If you've seen it, what I'm seeing is there's truth in that movie as far as those who believe and can comprehend past lives at this point, or even those who are still skeptical about it. One of the signs you could tell that you have a past life or that you're starting to learn about it or on that path is in the movie with Mark Wahlberg, Infinite. They started to get their memories back slowly over time. So, like, I'll put it like this. Is there something that you're better at than others? Sometimes that's a sign because you're better at it because you did it in the past lives. Like, there's certain things that you pick up better. Like, have you ever been somewhere and let's say a class, right? And the teacher's teaching something. And maybe you and maybe one other person, if that, are experts at it and get it like it's nothing. But everyone else in the classes, they're struggling with it. They got to work at it, right? So that's a sign that could possibly be something that you did in your past life, because you pick it up like that because it's still in your subconscious, because it's always with you even though you don't remember it. You just don't remember it because of this avatar. You're not supposed to remember it, because if you remember everything from your past lives, you won't learn. Everything is about experience and learning. So anyway, let me keep going. Our friends, the whole universe is within a whole. Those who have achieved the power of Allah are the key points of this medium. The whole universe is within a whole. In other words, family, everything is with, like they say, go within yourself. Heaven is within you. Heaven is within the Creator. Everything is within the Creator. There is no beginning. There is no end. When you finally pass away and go back to the source like the place where we all came from, like the very first place, when you finally go back, you're gonna look around and realize you never went anywhere in the first place. That's like me. Basically, imagine me going on a whole, falling asleep right now, having a dream, and I travel all over the world, France and this and that, and then to wake up, maybe the dream felt like it was months. I was gone for months, only to wake up in the end of the dream to realize I'm still here and I never left. But I still learned. I still went places. It's kind of like that. The whole universe is within a whole. The whole universe is within a whole. Or also, I talk about how the universe is in a womb. So you can think about that too. A womb, a hole in a cave, a hole in a room. A hole is just space, open space. A cave has open space in the middle. A womb, I guess if you, imagine it without the baby, a womb is space, or your empty stomach. The whole universe is within a whole. Those who have achieved the power of Allah are the key points of this medium. It is always possible to get in contact with the seat of authorities. You are in a medium that prepares the evolvement of the intellect. You are in a brand new order. You are being adapted to a medium outside your field of influence. The health of our missionary friends is under control. You are being regenerated in every way. No one possesses the quality of opening his or her own coat to the medium she or he desires. Only the coats of the brains who deserve this medium are opened. The evolvement of everyone is different. In fact, each one of you is a light of universe. You have the equality of creation in God's consideration. God created the human, and the human created himself, herself. However, if you keep yourselves in the medium as God created you, no one can assist you. Hold on. God created the human, and the human created him, herself. However, if you keep yourselves in the medium as God created you, no one can assist you. In other words, if you just say that this is good enough. Matter of fact, this takes me back to the Bible when Yahushua, or Jesus, whatever you call him, was going to talk to the Israelites, the tribes. And one thing he said was, what the Bible says is he tried to go to them, but they thought they were already good enough. In other words, sick people, healthy people don't need a doctor. Sick people do. So that's when he talks about when he went to start ministering to the downtrodden, the poor, the so-called criminals and all these people. So that's something to take from what I just said right now, as far as from changing. Also, if you go back to my readings on this book, family, the Cobran, I forget what chapter, but somewhere in the first beginning, I think within the first 5 chapters, it explains something about another way of evolution, to where evolution is, because the creator is always around. Like it just said, it says God created the human, and the human created himself, herself. However, if you keep yourselves in the medium as God created you, no one can assist you. In other words, Adam and Eve, think about Adam and Eve in a garden in the beginning. Everything's provided for them, right? They were like children. So if nothing bad ever happened, if they had no adversity, they would have never grown. You change through circumstance. You change through adversity. The Bible talks about those who are being persecuted are blessed, because you change through adversity. Family, everything is a test, right? So in the Cobran, it talks about, imagine the different, species of our ancestors that have came through the millions of years, or however long, this has been around, right? So basically what the Cobran was saying is, even in the animals, let's say you had a bear. I don't know if anyone's ever seen a picture of a bear without fur. It's ugly. So imagine years ago, bears didn't have fur. And then the climate started to get cold, or they moved to another climate that was cold. So naturally, the bears would start to desire something to make them warm, to protect them from the cold. So basically what the Cobran explains is, over time, something happens spiritually behind the scenes, that it's like the universe senses this need, this desire, this need for protection from the elements. So over time, it basically said, eventually, I guess, the willpower or thought or manifestation, that specific species would start manifesting fur to keep them warm in the wintertime. And it doesn't mean it happened overnight. It's almost like a flower. You know, I've done this. I was planting a garden once, and I remember I was looking at the plants, and I kept seeing them like every day getting bigger, right? And one day I was just looking at it, and I was thinking, I want to sit here and look at it, because I think I had went in the house and came out maybe an hour or so later, and it had opened or something or moved, right? And it kept doing it, but I could never catch it. So I sat there looking at it for a good minute once, and nothing happened. And then, you know, turn around, go over a little bit, come back, it moving. And through that moment in gardening, I was taught a lesson that a lot of times when it comes to creation and things being manifested and the will of the creator, whatever you want to call it, it's not that they're not happening. You just can't see it. It's not going to happen right in front of your eyes. Like, it'll happen in front of your eyes, but you won't realize it. Matter of fact, you won't realize that it's there until it's already come most of the time. So it's not going to happen while you're looking at it. That's why people say, a lot of times people say, set it and forget it. If you dwell on it, it's going to take it longer. You can't dwell on it. You have to set it and forget it and go about it. So I hope I explained that about the cobra. I know we've been on here 16 minutes already, but let's keep going. God created the human, and the human created himself herself. However, if you keep yourselves in the medium as God created you, no one can assist you. Evolvement does not mean to stay in one place. It means to advance step by step. Those who find their own selves and their essence will come to us. In other words, find yourself, go within. Our friendly brothers and sisters, the messages we give, our friendly brothers and sisters, the messages we give to you from outside the universe are given from the supreme plane as a command of the divine. However, we will present the messages beyond perceptions to you when the time comes. For now, the priority is given to the unification of your world. For this reason, messages relating to evolvement will be given to you for a while. Okay. For now the priority is given to the unification of your world. For this reason, messages relating to evolvement will be given to you for a while. All right, keep going, keep going, keep going. Formerly, we had mentioned to you what genuine evolvement was. We call it the coat of the essence, the word, the I. Now let us explain them. Essence coat. Okay, now let us explain them. Number 1, essence coat. First, you have to find your essence. You have to be in peace with yourself. This is the externalization of the inner radiance. And we wish that everyone can find the divine light in this manner. This is our soul wish. I'm going to give you a little advice on how to get there, family. It starts with self-accountability and reflection. It's like AA. You first have to look at yourself and come to terms. Because usually what happens is, you know what happens a lot of time, family, with people in the world when they have a lot of time to think in quietness or solitude? Now, since they have time to think, they have a lot of time to think about their past and their choices. And a lot of times, depending on the person, some people have done a lot of things. And now that they have time to sit still and think about it, it eats them up inside. So they have no peace. So until some people will call it shadow work. You know, well, let me not do that. I'm not doing it. But another word for shadow work is self-accountability. It's looking at yourself, seeing who you are as a person, coming to terms with it, accepting it, forgiving yourself, and moving forward with a new mindset, changing, being born again. You know, learning right from wrong, what is right to wrong to you on your path at this time. It's not telling nobody to go out and do nothing wrong or whatever, but this is something I've started to understand in life. Look, at the end of the day, we all going to end up back at source. But we all have, once again, a different path to get there. And we don't know what's going to take for each individual person to get back to source. So it's circumstantial. But anyway, let me keep going because I don't want to get too confused on it. All right. Okay, let me start again. Number 1, essence code. First, you have to find your essence. You have to be in peace with yourself. This is the externalization of the inner radiance. And we wish that everyone can find the divine light in this manner. This is our soul wish. Number 2, word coat. Number 2, word, W-O-R-D, coat, K-O-T-E. Number 2, word coat. This is very important. You say that the tongue has no bone. We use it as an example. Every word comes out of there, including the sweet ones, the bitter ones, the loving and the evil ones. When you have love in your word, friendliness in your voice, and docility in your logic, the gates of freedom are partly open to you. And this brings you infinite tolerance and happiness. To blame, to reproach, are the greatest of sins for this code. Okay, let me read that again. I think it's self-explanatory when I explain it some more. This is very important. You say that the tongue has no bone. We use it as an example. Every word comes out of there, including the sweet ones, the bitter ones. Family, as they say, I was just looking at it today, it popped up. A man is as he thinketh. You are as you think. You are what you eat. You are who you hang out with. Coming back to this word. We have to work, family. Some of us have been through so much in life that even me at a time, and even I'm still working on it a lot. But I've been going through so much in my life. It was always something, turmoil, like roadblock after roadblock, just times I wanted to give up, just end it. I'm being honest with you. But as they say, the sun will always come out the next day, right? You know, the sun will come out. So, but what I'm saying is, family, some of us have been through so much trauma that it's hard for us to see anything good for ourselves. It's hard for us to really, truly believe that we deserve something good, because everything we have seen up until this point, it's just been destruction and hate and just so much pain, right? But you have to make a conscious, like, even when it comes to donating and being a kind person, family, you actually have to make a conscious effort to be a so-called good person. You actually have to start, like, if your habits before were always stealing and doing stuff like that, you have to now make it a habit to not steal. So you have to make it a habit to compliment yourself. When you get up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. I'm not saying be delusional and go around being cocky and have a big ego and think you're better than other people. I'm talking about for self-respect, to build yourself up. Like this, people always say this, and I dislike when people say this. People always say, like, for instance, if I'm talking to a young man or a girl and they ask me advice on, let's say they're attracted to someone, they want someone, and they ask, well, how do I get them? I think some of the most worst and ungenuine advice someone can give to another person in a situation like that is to tell them to just be yourself and they'll accept you for you, and to just be confident. When in reality, especially just saying, oh, you know what it is, you're just be confident, that's why. That's a bald-faced lie. Because I'm pretty sure any person in here who is fairly attractive according to the world's standards, who's had people approach them on a regular, I'm pretty sure if I sat here, you talking to me, you would sit here and tell me that there are just some people, look, I don't care how confident you are. I mean, that's great that you're confident, you're a cool person, this and that. But if I'm not attracted to you and I want you, I don't want you. So that's why I say it's a lie. Look, I'll put it like this. It's true. Always be confident in yourself. Matter of fact, I heard somebody put it like this once, and it's just the best way I ever heard it put it. He said, it was a young kid too. He said, look, I'm confident in myself, but I'm just not confident that other people see me the same way that I see myself. So in other words, well, he didn't say exactly like that, but basically what he was saying is, look, at the end of the day, I know who I am. Like kind of what I was reading a minute ago as we were reading it, what it was saying, that these people who are ascending, you know who you are. So in other words, I know who I am. I know what I can do. I know that I'm worthy. So, but just because I know that doesn't mean that everyone around me knows that, or if they can even understand what I'm talking about. So at the end of the day, if I'm going to go approach a man or a woman, knowing myself that regardless of what they say or turn me down, I know who I am. I'm confident who I am. I know I'm not ugly. I know I'm not this. I know who I am, right? So you can't let them turning you down if that would be the case. You can't let what they think or whatever harm your harm your emotions, harm you, or let them. Don't give them, as I say, don't give them free space in your head, right? So you have to be confident in yourself. I hope I explained that right. I'm confident in myself, but just because I'm confident in myself doesn't mean that everybody's going to want me. So I'm not confident that everyone's going to want me, because that's just not how life works. Everybody doesn't want you, but I'm confident in me regardless. So just because you don't want me, I'm not going to be mad and be hurt and be like, oh, I'm ugly, and you know what I'm saying? So that's how I explain that. So once again, your words, family, your words have power. So We have to learn to start, once again, complimenting yourself, lifting yourself up. You're strong, you're powerful, you're beautiful, you're wise, you're healthy. You deserve them, but you have to look in the mirror and tell yourself these things. Give yourself affirmations. I'm not saying tell them out loud to everybody. Keep them to yourself, because you don't want nobody speaking against. Because you could be speaking the affirmations about, I'm gonna be this and that, and then people speaking against you. Speak it for yourself. So also too, family, the words you speak against others, and okay, know when you speak negativity against someone, family, whether you mean to or not, that is a form of witchcraft. Because it's negativity. Witchcraft is for the most part that I know, other than things get complicated. But whenever you do something from the negativity of your heart to hurt someone, that's witchcraft. Just letting you know. When you look, even if you pray for someone and you have the best intentions for it, if that is not that person's will or desire, or if that's not the desire of the universe for that person, you're committing witchcraft and you're being wrong. Even if in your heart you're just like, oh, I pray, and you think it's best. Sometimes people have to go through things, otherwise they're not going to learn. Sometimes people are answering for things they've either done in this life or in a past life. And who are you to come to mess up their lesson? Who are you to interfere? So you think you're praying for good, when in reality you not only setting that person up for failure and worse, because now they're not going to learn the lesson and you're saving them from learning so they can be a better person, but you're kicking yourself in the foot now, bringing bad karma on you because you're not minding your business. The movie The Quiet Place, family, the symbolism in that movie is also a symbolism of the time we live in right now on this earth. In other words, those who are really starting to see the truth, those who are really awakening, those who are really woke, because everybody ain't woke, everybody ain't spiritual as they say they are. Those who really see, they're starting to be more quiet, because they're starting to understand that there's more action in less words. There's more action in studying. There's more action in being quiet and meditating and listening to the universe and learning, because there's a lot of craziness going on right now. We should be passerbyers, family. This is the season of passerbyers. This is the season of mind your business, do you, focus. This is the season of be quiet. This is the season of don't be fearful, but go out. Look, number one, always keep trusting in the Creator. Always stay moral, as the word says, love the Creator with all your heart and do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Watch your words, family. Watch your words that you put on others and words that you put on yourself. It's a double-edged sword. You put negative words out there, they're going to come back on you. You put negative words on yourself too. So come on, family. So just mindset, being positive. That's what you're talking about. Your words have power. Watch what you say. It's not saying don't go out, don't share knowledge. It's not saying don't have conversation with people. It's not saying take a vow of silence. It's just of silence. It's just saying get more in the habit of stop just running your mouth to run your mouth. Because a lot of times too, you can say stuff now and not realize that you're saying something that is literally reverberating throughout time, history. And it may not hit you now, but you're going to pay for it later. And then you might not even know what you said, and you'll be paying for it later, wondering what's wrong, what happened, not even knowing, because you're too busy running your mouth. So anyway, let's keep going. So I know that was a minute. We've been on here 28, but I'm breaking it down, family. We're going to keep going. Number 3, eye code. The eye sees and loves. The eye sees and wants. The eye sees and cries. Do you know why? It is said that if the essence cries, the eye also cries. This is the first step of the involvement in this medium. Tears are positive foam cleansing your negative feelings. Your spirits are cleansed and elevated as your hearts foam. Family, once again, that's an important aspect of us being gods in this 3D realm right now, in this test we're going through. What makes us different from other species that we might consider to even be gods is that we have a deeper level of emotion and feeling. Our emotions give us more power. Our emotions give us a wider range of understanding and wisdom. Because if we were just, I guess, emotionless or emotionally tone deaf, there are certain things we wouldn't be able to realize or things we wouldn't be able to invent, because certain things require emotion, that fire, in order to invent these things, instead of just, regular cookie cutter, just being a robot or drone, just doing, basically just surviving and not living. Okay. Also, once again, the eye is talking about your spirit within your mind, your head. Matter of fact, family, while I'm on this, I had this crazy, vision. I was meditating. I wouldn't say vision, but this, I guess, download understanding. And it was like I was taken into my head, and the question that I was asking this, my higher self or the creator was telling me or downloading me. It was like, where do you live? And in my mind I kept thinking about, like, huh? And it was like, as I'm going through life, from what perspective do I see it? Do I see it from the perspective of my hands, of my feet, of my chest, of my stomach? Where is my perspective from? My perspective is from here, my eyes. This is where all my thoughts and as we go in school and they talk about, the when you want to move your leg, right? Your mind actually sends an electric pulse down your spine through certain areas of your body to connect to tell your leg to move. So it's almost like going to the Bible where it talks about the body of Christ and it talks about some people are hands and legs and feet. Everybody has a part. So it's like I realized that it's like my soul is not in my heart. My soul, me, my conscious, the me that is talking to you, the true me, not this physical body, but the conscious me, the me that's going to go on for eternity and envelop another avatar someday. You know what I'm saying? Possess another avatar body, is within my head, because that's where I see everything from. I don't see everything from my feet, so I'm not in my feet. Yes, this is my feet, this is my avatar body, but my spirit, my mind, my thoughts are not in my feet. Something else is controlling my feet. I'm the head. I'm the crown. I control what my feet wants to do. When I want my feet to move, because I'm the king, I tell my feet to move. And remember, your eyes in your head, family, so I'm talking about your soul, your spirit, your conscience. That's your eye. That's what I'm talking about, that code. But you have to understand what I'm talking about. You live in your head. You don't live in your feet and your hands. Yes, this is my avatar, my body, but I live in my head. I don't live in my chest and my heart. My heart is just an organ. Yes, I'm grateful that I have it as part of my body, but I live in my head. I'm in my head. I don't see life from the view of my chest. I see it from the view of my head, from behind my eyes. What's behind my eyes? My brain, my medulla oblongata. You know what I'm saying? My eye, my third eye, my pineal gland, where my spirit is, my knowledge is. Because remember, the true me is an energy source, family, and the human body is made up of almost like, imagine breaking down a computer technology, right? And looking at the different circuits. That's how your brain is, your body. So your memories, your spirit and everything is within the circuits of your brain. And so I say, family, people, you don't understand what you do when you cut your hair off. Your hair has wisdom in it. It's growing out of your brain. Your hair, like for instance, family, if I didn't lock my hair would stick up to the air. Towards what? Heaven. Getting the frequencies. My hair is like an antenna. Your hair has wisdom in it, knowledge, history. You keep cutting it off. Let's keep going. Number 3, eye code. The eye see and love. The eye sees and loves. The eye sees and wants. The eye sees and cries. Do you know why it is said that if the essence cries, the eye also cries? The essence is your spirit, your soul, the what I was just telling you about in your mind. This is the first step of evolvement in this medium. Tears are positive foam cleansing your negative feelings. Your spirits are cleansed and elevated as your heart foam. When you cry, family, it's like a release, letting go of negativity, letting go of heaviness, getting it all out. Now, this is for men. This is not me telling you to go out there and be out there crying in front of everybody and women. That's not what I'm saying. There's a time and place for everything, and everybody's not to be trusted. This is a learning lesson. It don't mean cry. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, family, for everybody, when you cry, especially when it comes truly feeling it and learning crying, you by yourself. You can cry as nasty as you want. You don't have to feel nothing. And can't nobody put you down. That's the best time. It's very rare. It should be very rare when you cry in front of anybody else, period. Very rare, because people use it, whether, I don't care if it's your wife, your husband, mama, it's rare. Not saying that you can't never cry in front of these people, but don't make it a habit. Don't make it it's not what I'm saying, and I'm not saying men can't have emotions. That's not what I'm saying. Not this ain't type, but I'm trying to be real with you. Sometimes you don't know what people thinking. It's a blessing we can't read each other's minds right now. Anyway, so just put that out there, family. It's not saying don't cry, but like I said, it's even more. It's more genuine and powerful anyway when your tears are by yourself. When you're talking to the creation by yourself. When you crying in the house by yourself. When you talking, but ain't nobody around but you and the Creator. That's it. Let's keep going. Do you know why God always holds the hands of His sad servants? Because when goodness weighs more, and your conscience scale than evil. Helping hands are extended to you. God does not wish to see any of his servants in hopelessness. This grace extended to you is the residue of your depressions. To see but not to see, to perceive but not to tell, to hear but not to listen is your second evolvement code that will open the gates beyond the firmament to you. Let me read that again. To see but not to see, to perceive but not to tell, to see but not to see, to perceive but not to tell, to hear but not to listen is your second evolvement code that will open the gates beyond the firmament to you. In fact, evolvement is necessary for every human, and evolvement is interminable. During the sincerity period, your second evolvement code will be enough for you to let your kite in heaven fly. During this sincerity period, your second evolvement code will be enough for you to let your kite in heaven fly in the heavens of the firmament. Those who partly open the gates after that get the permission to convey everything to you. The religious books have dictated in this manner. I gotta read that again, family. During this sincerity period, your second evolvement code will be enough for you to let your kite in heaven fly in the heavens of the firmament. Those who partly open the gates after that get the permission to convey everything to you. Hold on. Those who partly open the gates after that get the permission to convey everything to you. The religious books have been dictated in this manner. Oh, okay. So basically, family, we're talking about. You ever heard of what they talk about when you get drunk? They talk about spirits, right? Has anyone ever heard anyone say, when they've gotten drunk, it's like they feel like they lost their body, like they were watching themselves do what they were doing, but it wasn't them. So basically, what this is explaining, it's almost like your coat is another. Like everyone has different like split personalities within you. Multiple spirit. There's multiple facets of you from different times living within you now, right? So, and then also take your higher self. It's like an aura of you. So when it's talking about you ascend, sometimes it's not talking about you physically. It's talking about your higher self, and you can't see it. But it's like, imagine it like your higher self leaving your body, but it has a string connected to you like a kite. And your higher self is in the firmament, up there talking to the angels, the angles, the aliens, the celestial being, whatever you want to call it, whatever you talk to the universe. So while your higher self is up there, like for instance, like right now, I'm sitting here talking to you. My higher self is up there right now having a conversation with the universe, sending information down to me through the connection we have through the kite string. So that's what I got as I read this. During the sincerity period, your second evolvement code will be enough for you to let your kite in heaven fly in the heavens of the firmament. Those who partly open the gates after that get the permission to convey everything to you. The religious books have been dictated in this manner. In other words, since my kite made it up there, since my higher self made it up there and it opened up the door and cracked it, I'm allowed to read these books to you and disseminate them to you. So some of y'all, well, what are you talking about? I'm not saying I'm nobody. I put the work in. I'm ready. I have my own personal relationship with the Creator. You can understand it or not, or be mad, whatever, or leave. That's what I'm just explaining to you what this says. And you listen to this also are that same person or on your way to be that same person. Because, each one teaches one, right? Someone teach me, I teach another. That's how it works. Like my mother explained to me again today, she been saying a lot where the download coming to her, where life is like, imagine a tree. And each tree, right, as you get to the end, right, it branches off into separate branches, and each branch branches off to other branches. So that's life, Everything branches off into something else. For every cause, there's an effect, right? So it's not just in one direction. It branches off. Life branches off into many different directions. So, and then there's parallel universes. One of your cells go left, one of your cells goes right. Okay. The preeminent ones who have given you messages from the Enlightenment channel to today have lost their humility The preeminent ones who have given you messages from the Enlightenment channel till today have not lost their humility at all. Despite their being in much higher levels now, they even tolerate your disrespectfulness toward them. You are tolerated only if you are seen as deserving of that tolerance. Do not ever forget this. Hold on, I gotta go back. because I think I skipped some. Okay. During this sincerity period, your second evolvement coat will be enough for you to let your kite in heaven fly in the heavens of the firmament. Those who partly open the gates after that get the permission to convey everything to you. The religious books have been dictated in this manner. The preeminent ones who have given you messages from the enlightenment channel until today have not lost their humility at all, despite their being in much higher levels now. They even tolerate your disrespectfulness towards them. You are tolerated only if you are seen as deserving of the tolerance. Do not ever forget this. There goes that mercy from the Bible talking about, we don't deserve the mercy of the Creator, but the Creator gives it to us anyway. If your rebellions are matter of fact, I want to say that too, family, the mercy too that we get from the Creator that we don't understand, that you don't understand this, it is reincarnation. It's that no matter how much you mess up, it's like you have a chance to do it over and over again. Now, you can't get stuck here for eternity because you basically get stuck in your own mind because you don't want to change. Like I was saying earlier, if you stay how God made you and you don't evolve, then you'll get stuck. So this can become your hell because it comes repetitive. You know those movies like Groundhog Day, the movies where people, whenever they die, they restart the day over again, like in the same way they started the day before. That's basically on a grander scale, on the outside looking in, is what we're doing right now, family. And we're coming back over and over again. Hold on, I lost my yeah, so I said that's that mercy. So you have that mercy to go through past life over and over again until you finally evolve to the point where you're able to ascend, until you're able to accept the truth, the reality of the universe, until you're able to put on that white suit like the man in the white room in the Matrix, until you're able to accept that is your job. You're going to stay here and continue to take the blue pill. Let's keep going. If your rebellions are overflowing, hold on. If your rebellions are the overflowing of your essence heart, hold on. The preeminent ones who have given you messages from the enlightenment channel till today have not lost their humility at all, despite their being in much higher levels now. They even tolerate your disrespectfulness toward them. You are tolerated only if you are seen as deserving of the tolerance. Do not ever forget this. If your rebellions are the overflowing of your essence heart, this is not a sin. If they are made on purpose, then they are considered sins. In the latter case, there is no tolerance at all. We have felt compelled to explain all this so that our friends who are in the medium of depression can overcome their sadness. In other words, when you made mistakes before you understood how the spiritual realm and how a lot of the world really works in spiritual science, you have a get out of free card, jail card because of your ignorance. But once you know and you go back and do these things, once you know, because you give into your flesh, whether it be, sex addict, drug addict, or addict of money, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's talking about, how that's when you're guilty. When you do it and you know in your spirit, like at this point you know it's wrong and you keep doing it. We hope that from now on you will prepare yourselves for the medium of evolvement more comfortably. Our gratitude to our friends who perform their missions justly is infinite. Their rebellions are caused by the fact that the world medium does not conform to their own mediums. We are sure that they will not lose their equanimity in the name of the command coming from the Supreme Ones. In other words, family, are you ever one of those people, kind of like we talked earlier, that you feel like you're alone, like you're not from here, like you just don't fit in with nobody, and like I said, things are, that's basically what it's saying. When you're really into this truth, and not only talking it, but walking it, and trying to teach others in like every aspect of your life, family, you just, not saying you're never better than nobody. Matter of fact, how you get, like it's saying, your ego goes down. Matter of fact, when you talk to people and tell these things, people get offended because they think you're judging, but you're telling them because you see the truth and you want the best for them. But they take it as you attacking them, and then they attack you, and then you start getting more lonely because this path, when you go on this path, family, you're really ascending to being like a god, to being a king or a queen. In the movie on Netflix, once again, The King, this one scene, I always remember it. And the main character, he used to be a prince, and then he became a king. And there's this one guy he used to hang out with all the time before he became a king. And he went to go search for him after he became a king. And he told the guy when he found him, "I've been looking for you everywhere. Don't you know you're like my only true friend?" And the guy looked at him and was like, "You're a king. Kings don't have friends. Kings only have servants and enemies." And it hit me so hard, like on an esoteric level, family, that's so true, because when you ascend back to your true godhood and even further past godhood to celestial beings or to become the ether, Remember, the ether is everything. The universe is only one, the alpha, the omega. I am that I am. That is who you become. And there is nobody but you. There's nobody outside of you. It is only you. So you have to be able to, like I said, that crown is heavy. Are you able to accept the crown that there is nothing outside of the Creator? That there is only life within this womb, and that's why it is a blessing that the Creator made us, and we have the blessing to be here, because if it was not for the womb of the Creator, for this 3D realm being created, we'd be out there in the ether. And that's a blessing too, when you're able to comprehend it and understand it, when you're able to accept that peace that comes with not wanting or needing anything or anyone, but just being at peace. Don't even need to say a word. Notice to the world, Brotherhood Club, our friends. This book compromising the suggestions about universal establishment. Our friends, this book compromising the suggestions about universal establishment will be the common book of all our light brothers and sisters who have set their essence hearts on humanity. The tent we have established in the universe opens arms to the infinite. Our brothers and sisters who will take shelter under this tent will be the genuine servants of the Lord. Let me start again on that. This book compromising the suggestions about universal establishment will be the common book of all our light brothers and sisters who have set their essence hearts on humanity. The tent we have established in the universe opens arms to the infinite. Our brothers and sisters who will take shelter under this tent will be the genuine servants of the Lord. Matter of fact, while I'm on this, I want to put something out, family. My cousin brought this to my attention the other day about a summit that just happened between leaders of Christianity and Islam, like Catholic Church and stuff, trying to basically integrate their religions. And some of you might say that, oh, well, why aren't you on your side? Everything you talk about, you say everything's the same. I'm not on their side because it's not the same. What they're trying to do, family, is they're trying to hijack. They see what's happening. They see they can't stop this awakening. The true awakening is happening. That's happening right now. That people are waking up to the truth. People are studying. People are researching. So what they're trying to do is get ahead of the bandwagon, and they're trying to hijack it. In other words, keep people within the confines of an organizational religion. In other words, keep letting them tell you what to do. Keep having you as a slave under them, to keep you in the religious lines of their books, of their organization, not in the religious lines of the Creator and what the book actually says, but of their organization, not what wisdom from the Creator says. That's what the Bible talks about. Beware the leaven of the Pharisees. That's why I say, family, technically, if you want to be honest, if you went back in time to the time that the Bible describes and says that it all took place, the Sadducees and Pharisees would be modern day Christians, or modern day Orthodox Catholics, or modern day people who follow Islam, not Muslims. Because look, I'm talking about all of them. I'm talking about everyone who is just so devout to their religion to where they would kill other people and tell people they're going to hell because they don't believe. All those people are the Sadducees and Pharisees. I don't care what so-called religion. It, like the word says, do not add to or take away. Don't add to the Creator's word. And this is what people do. People don't let people be people. That's not saying let people go out and hurt people and do stupid stuff. Like, because obviously there's a balance, and there's such thing as going too far. But there's a such thing as going too far with control over people and turning people into zombies and slaves and taking advantage of people. And that's one of the things that Yahusha was saying. Is why I always say, take the title off of Yahusha. Listen to his words. Look at who Yahusha was as a person, how he walked, how he talked, how he treated people. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's. This is how you're going to see, who is really from the Creator. It's not going to be people coming at you with degrees, with jewelry on, all the way, nice cars, and all this money. 9 times out of 10, family, if someone comes at you like that, they not from the Creator, because that's not. The Creator is not about confusion. The Creator is not here to make, because that's not for everybody. That's only a select few. And that's not to say that somebody coming to you with jewelry and clothes on can't be telling you. As I always say, listen to everybody, but be cognizant. Because a lot of times they say a wolf in sheep's clothing. A lot of times, family, the people who really have the knowledge are the ones, honestly, are the people that most of the time, most people will look over. The ones that nobody will notice. The ones that people like, they don't have nothing, they don't know nothing. But when you talk to them, you realize they some of the most powerful people in the world because of their relationship with the Creator. The things they know that other people don't know. But because you judging by the world standards, by whether you want to call it Lucifer, Satan, whatever, by those standards, So you mess yourself up. You shoot yourself in the foot. Anyway, let's keep going. We have a request from our brothers and sisters who lived abroad. If our universal friends who have set their essence hearts on humanity translate in sequence the fascules sent to them to the languages that they speak of the countries they are in and are not in, or if they make their volunteer friends translate them and enable the dissemination as they have received them to the entire world, their endeavors will surely be rewarded. Do not forget that this word is the promise of your extraterrestrial friends. Our system is adjusted to the thought frequency of each friend. Due to this, our connection is never interrupted in any way. Each friend of ours who takes in hand the fascules of this book is a member of the World Brotherhood Union, that is, of this club. God always assists you in this sacred mission. Do not ever forget this. The choice is within your initiative. Time will prove everything to you. When the time comes, you will see it with your eyes. To those who want miracles, miraculous occurrences will be shown according to their reception powers. These will be individual demonstrations rather than mass demonstrations. This will occur either by messages you will receive through your dreams or through direct connections. Or something like this, family. Like, I tell people sometimes when I meet people who are just like, they just don't believe in anything at all. Sometimes I give them like a challenge. I say, how about this? When you go home tonight, I want you to think of something you want and try to just and put it into parameters. Think of something that is, let's say $300 or less, right? Or something that is not too crazy, but what's it called? Achievable. And not say that anything isn't achievable, but sometimes the more difficult, the longer it's going to take. But I might say this: go home, right? And when no one's around, go in your room, close the door, and talk to God. Tell God, look, I want you to prove to me you're real because I want to know if you're real. Show me this and be like I would say this. And I don't, like, for instance, I might say this. I might be like, you know what, God, if you're real, I want a double cheeseburger, animal style, from In-N-Out with a pink lemonade. If you're real, I want that. And then after you say it, like I said earlier, it's like you said it, forget it, and you go about your business. But you don't tell nobody about this. Just go by yourself. This is between you, yourself, and the Creator. Go in your room, close the door. You say this, right? And then hopefully you forget it. And then hopefully sometimes either the next day, if not that same day, or a few days later, you might be sitting, let's say you might be at work, and all of a sudden one of your working employees or partners comes up. No. What's it called? One of your peers at work comes by, right? And they stop and they call you and they're like, hey, look, I just went to In-N-Out and I had bought 2 cheeseburgers and I thought I was gonna eat them both, but I wasn't as hungry as I thought I was gonna be, so I only ate one. And I thought about you, so here, man, I wanted to give it to you. Oh, by the way, I got this extra lemonade. By the way, I got this lemonade, but I didn't really want it. They just gave me because it came with the meal. I got another drink. You want this lemonade? Yeah, okay, bet. That's how it'll work. But that's what it's talking about sometimes. But here's the thing, because you didn't tell anybody, if you told somebody else this, they might look at you like, bro, like even the person giving you the In-N-Out might look at you and be like, bro, it was just a coincidence, bro. I just had an extra burger. You looking too much into it. But the only reason they're saying that is because they don't know what they asked for. But because you asked for it, you know what you asked the Creator. That's why the Bible says too, when you do charity, don't do it in front of people to be seen. Don't do it in front of people so you be seen and people be like, oh, you're such a good person, this and that. Give charity when no one is looking, so one knows. So your blessing will be from the Creator. But when you do it outwardly, that's your blessing. So people can look at you like, oh, he's such a good person and this. In other words, perpetrating. Let's keep going. Time will prove everything to you. When the time comes, you will see it with your eyes. To those who want miracles, miraculous occurrences will be shown according to their reception powers. These will be individual demonstrations rather than mass demonstrations. This will occur either by messages you will receive through your dreams or through direct connections. In this manner, we will try to strengthen the faith of those who do not believe. This suggestion is ours, valid only for those who will be accepted here. With our regrets, love and gratitude to our friendly missionaries who will see the celestial ones. Our friends, We are transmitting here once again all together the essence of the messages given before. Since the world came into existence until today, all the religious books have been presented by the preeminent emissaries of the Lord. This is by a commission constituted of 24 preeminent ones. The name of this place is the Supreme Assembly. That is the central system. The soul enlightened. Okay, let me read that again. Our friends, we are transmitting here once again all together the essence of the messages given before. Since the world came into existence until today, all the religious books have been presented by the preeminent emissaries of the Lord. This is by a commission constituted of 24 preeminent ones, or 24 elders. The name of this place is the Supreme Assembly. That is the central system. The Supreme Assembly, family, I guess the best way to explain it will be almost like, imagine a throne room and the creator sitting in a throne room on a throne like a human king, and then imagine a bunch of other people standing around him. Those are his advisors. Those would be the 24 elders, or the preeminent ones. They're in the throne room with the creator. The soul enlightenment channel open to the world is here. All the commands are given from here. Until now, our books have been revealed from this channel. These 4 books are the following: the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Psalms of David, and the books containing the Far East religions. The 5th book was dictated by the Archangel Gabriel to our light friend Muhammad Mustafa by the command of the single Lord. The name of this book is the Quran. Now, in this final period that we call the sincerity period, the Lord has given the humans the command to be unified. This book assembles the essence of all the religious books in itself. This book is the book of the 21st century. We are assembling all our friends whom we hope have taken their lots from all the sacred books which have been revealed to your world until today. Hold on, read that again. Now in this final period that we call the sincerity period, the Lord has given the humans the command to be unified. This book assembles the essence of all the religious books in itself. This book is the book of the 21st century. We are assembling all our friends whom we hope have taken their lots from all the sacred books which have been revealed to your world until today, under the roof of this book, and we are preparing them for salvation. Your goodwill, tolerance, love will enable you to enter under this roof. Our friends, you do not know yet the actual nature of extraordinary events, no matter how advanced your techniques may be. During this period, humankind is taking its examination under various supervisions. What do you think the examinations are necessary for? We will notify you about them by clear messages that will be given to you. Now it is not the time for this. Hold on. We will notify. Okay. You do not know yet the actual nature of extraordinary events, no matter how advanced your techniques may be. During this period, humankind is taking its examinations under various supervisions. What do you think these examinations are necessary for? We will notify you about them by clearer messages that will be given to you. Now it is not the time for this. In other words, family, you got angels all around you, spiritual beings, angels, demons, all types of different spirits, terrestrial. They're all around you. You just can't see them. You're being tested. Perceptions you receive are the ways beyond the firmament that reflect on the order of the world. Perceptions you receive are ways beyond the firmament that reflect on the order of your world. Your satellites that have unified with our transmitters have caused us to come closer to you even more. But we have determined that most of our world friends have hesitations about us due to their conditionings. They are right to feel uneasy, for they feel that they are being supervised by many channels, but they should never see this supervision as a limitation of freedom. For this is an event that should be done as a necessity of the system. It should not frighten you. Let us explain this system to you briefly. In other words, family, when it's talking about satellites, it's talking about your higher self. I was explaining to you earlier, like imagine it like a kite. It's not talking about actual satellites. It's the man-made. It's talking about your spiritual, your higher self floating up in the universe right now. Oh, and then when it's talking about the way we've conditioned, family, and I've said this before, in this society, we've been taught to fear a lot of things that we should have not been fearing in the first place. A lot of things that have been told to us, we've been told are pagan or evil or this and that, when in reality, they're not. That these are things that our ancestors used. Atlanteans, Lemurians, people who follow Thoth, Egyptians, whatever the ancient civilization were. A lot of this stuff is things that we've just been lied to. And a lot of times, family, I said this before, you shouldn't, when people are presenting information to you, you should be careful how they present it to you. Pay attention if they have music or vibrations playing in the background. Pay attention to just the overall atmosphere. How are they telling you? Because how people present something, like someone can sit there and tell you the truth, and if they present it with scary music or vibrations or just mess up the atmosphere, you'll always, when you see that picture or whatever they're talking about, you're always compare it to something evil or sinister. And not knowing that it's actually something you need to help you sin. It's actually something that's very joyous, something happy. But because the enemy has conditioned you to fear this thing. Like for instance, how do you know? Remember, when you go through the Bible and read angels, family, when they describe angels don't always look like us. They don't always look like blonde hair, blue eye, just beautiful models and stuff. Sometimes they look grotesque. They have eyes everywhere. So if an angel come in front of you and you sitting there because you're judgmental, because of you judge people by how they look, you might sit there, you might offend the angel. And remember, they telepathic. So not only will they be able to see your expression and everything, but they also know how you're thinking. And you might want to be careful not to offend them. So that's what they're talking about basically, family. Like I'm saying, perception. Everything is changing, family. The truth is coming out. Everything's backwards. Everything that is good, we've been taught is bad. And everything is bad, we've been taught is good. You got to keep changing. This is a system established to determine the degenerated aspects of the cosmos. And it has been in effect since the beginning of your century. Now, in conformity with the universal theory, it has been rendered more comprehensive. And it has brought your world into effect. Hold on. This is a system established to determine the degenerated aspects of the cosmos. In other words, once again, family, it's a test. We're all being tested. We're like sperm cells. Who's going to make it out? You got to fight to make it out. That don't mean take your life. That means you got to put work in. You got to read. You got to study. You got to hold faith until the very last day, until the Most High call you home. Each individual has a special camera. Your eyes, your soul, your spirit. A special receiving transmitter channel. These channels are connected to the code keys in that particular person's private archive. Everything is recorded automatically. In this manner, humankind that has gone through numerous incarnations has become the possession of the archives that are being held under the control of the entire supervision system. In other words, family, like I was telling you earlier, your mind is like a computer. And all your past lives and memories are stored in there, even though you don't know them, or you just don't know how to access them. They're in there, and they're also, with your super what's it called, satellite cell, your kite cell. We have enlightened you until today through this system by giving you knowledge through the evolvement channel, by keeping you under religious supervision for the benefit of society. However, in the direction of egos, making discrimination among religions has prevented humankind from being integrated. Today, in other words, family, I'm saying you got to get out of religion. Religion is making us fight against each other. It's making us, separate when we're supposed to be coming together under the true wisdom of the Most High, because the true wisdom of the Creator brings everybody together. Today, the golden book of the space age, revealed through the divine channel of the Lord, is obliged to declare the entire universal truths to you. Those excluding the friends who are in extreme darkness of their conditioning comprehend us better. Hold on, read that again. Today, the golden book of the space age, revealed through the divine channel of the Lord, is obliged to declare the entire universal truths to you. Those excluding the friends who are in the extreme darkness of their conditioning comprehend us better. In other words, those, like I was saying, family, those who are just stuck in the matrix, who literally have made the matrix their identity, don't understand what I'm talking about. They're listening, probably already clicked off like, this dude crazy. But those who probably still listening into it, I'm talking to you. This is for you. We have always mentioned the day in which the heavens would be opened up. Now the heavens have been opened up. We, your extraterrestrial brothers and sisters, have had special contact with you. We, your extraterrestrial brothers and sisters, have had special contact with your world until today. Beside our direct contacts with you, our intergalactic connections with those with special frequencies who comprehend us have continued in every period. From time to time, we have connections with our terrestrial brothers and sisters in great secrecy, like empaths, people say they're psychics, things of that nature. However, since it was forbidden to inform the press about these, these events were disseminated in the forms of rumors and imagination powers also being added to them. Lots of stories have been created. Terra Infinita. Now, by the command of the divine, our channel Alpha, which is the direct channel of the Lord, has given the authorization of our Anatolian channel to explain all the progress beyond religions, the religions and gods of the entire universe, in all clarity. From now on, clear messages will be given to you on every subject with our love. Our friends, the mechanism of our Lord functions directly by the command of the Almighty, the Absolute. The single governor of the entire medium of galaxies and the universe is Zero, the Alpha, the Omega, the O. As a necessity of the intergalactic system, there will be a collective administrative system in the entire universe and in your world after the year 2000. You know what this kind of remind me of as I read that, family? Have you ever seen the movie The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe? The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and also Jupiter Rising or Jupiter Ascending. And there's another one about these two. They're like space agents, and they're going through all different universes and space and stuff. I think it was what movie was she in? It's this blonde chick. She's really skinny. She's British, and she's in a movie, I think, with another British dude, and I think he kind of looks like Leonardo DiCaprio. Give me a second, family. All right, let's keep going. As a necessity of the mechanism of the Lord functions directly by the command of the Almighty, the Absolute. The single governor of the entire medium of galaxies and the universe is O. As a necessity of the intergalactic system, there will be a collective administrative system in the entire universe and in your world after the year 2000. This system will bring happiness to everyone. When the time comes, these will be mentioned in your private messages. Or like, you ever watch those TV shows, family, where someone dies and it shows that they go to like purgatory or heaven or hell, and it looks like a waiting room or office room, and there's people sitting there and stuff, and there's person, like, it looks like you went to a office building for an appointment. That's another way to explain what I'm trying to explain to you right now. You can't see it, but it's there. Now, we are calling out to you from the 9th dimension. For now, we will open the universe up to the 18th dimension. At present, your cells are being habituated to the energy of the 6th dimension in your sleep. This is an engraftment method. Oh, man. Our world sisters and brothers. Oh, actually, while I'm on that, family, it says at present your cells are being habituated to the energy of the 6th dimension in your sleep. This is an engraftment. I want to explain something, family. Family, when you sleep at night, it's very important that you get in the habit of meditating or just doing what you got to do to get yourself in peace before you go to bed. Calm yourself. Because when you close your eyes and go to sleep, family, whether you realize it or not, you astro project, you astro travel, whether you leave your body or not. It doesn't always mean you have to leave your body, but you could be going within your body, dreaming within your body. So your spirit is traveling, right? But so what I'm saying is, family, your spirit switches when you sleep. Matter of fact, if you were with me when the last chapter I read of this, right? It was explaining how different universes combine. So when you sleep, family, this goes back to CERN and stuff, right? As you sleep, your spirit, it's easier for your spirit to slip in between universes. And this goes back to, like, I was talking about a flower. Like, it's changing in front of your eyes, but you can't see it. It's like a flower. You got to leave, turn around, come back, and then you'll see. It'll happen and you won't even notice. So when you sleep, family, you close your eyes, your spirit vibrates either up or down or side or left to right to another universe, depending on how you went to bed. So in other words, if you go to bed in a positive way, positive sleep, your spirit, family, vibrates up to a higher consciousness, a higher level. So it's like you're going up Jacob's ladder, you're ascending. But if you go to sleep negatively, like, people talk about don't go to bed angry, with your spouse and stuff. If you go to bed in a negative spirit, then your soul will start to merge with a lower existence, a lower realm. So you want to, before you go to bed, family, you want to always, and it's not always perfect because I don't always do it. Sometimes I forget too. But we have to get, it's important, family, get in the habit, because the more you start, like I said, giving yourself affirmations, building yourself up, being positive all the time. The more when you go to sleep and close your eyes, the more every time you wake up, you're going to wake up in an elevated state. You're going to wake up in a higher dimension. Families, the enemy comes like a thief in the night. So I'm telling you the truth, family. You don't have to believe me. Some of you understand what I'm saying. Watch your thoughts. You literally, family, look at these movies coming out recently, like Doctor Strange, or there's another one I forget, with the lady who is in Shang-Chi, the Marvel movie about the rings. She was the lady who trained the main character, right? She's in a lot of movies, but she was in a movie recently, I think came out in June, about her going into having many different bodies and living in different parallel realities at once. And that's what that movie is explaining exactly. That movie is showing exactly what I'm explaining to you right now in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, family, when you sleep, depending on your vibrations, if it's a positive vibrations, you're going to ascend. But if it's negative, you're going to ascend down. So let's say you have a good day today and great, and you had it for the past 2 days, and you made it up, two steps up Jacob's ladder. But then somebody pisses you off, and by the time you lay your head down and go to sleep that night, you didn't go on 10 steps. Like you say, take 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. So keep that in mind. That's how that works. Then there's something else important that I wanted to throw in there. So that's another thing, family. Like, you ever had issues where you always see yourself waking up at midnight? Or has there ever been times in your life where you kept waking up at certain times of the night, and and you wonder, why do I keep waking up this time? Whether it be sometime between midnight and maybe like 3 in the morning, right? 3:30, sometimes between those 4 in the morning. What's happening is, family, that's your guardian angels or whatever entities that are around you, whether they be negative, positive, depending on your choices in life. I mean, you're always going to have your positive one around too, because we all have a guardian angel, whatever you want to call it, a spirit. But they'll wake you up. Because midnight, especially midnight, reading the Bible talks about David never going to sleep before midnight, so he can be there to meet the Creator. The midnight hour, family, is like the transference hour, the main transference hour of universes. So sometimes when you're woken up in the middle of the night, it's because it's your guardian angel or someone telling you to get up. And most of the time we'll get up and we'll just sit there, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because it dulls the effects of what would have happened if we stayed asleep. But what you should be doing is you should be meditating in that moment when you wake up, or reading some type of book of wisdom. You must doing something, because at that moment, and those are prime times for you to get downloads. Those are prime times for you to get understanding. Those are prime times for you. So then once you finally are able to lay back down and go back to sleep, now as you sleep, you'll be elevated to a higher level. But sometimes for special occasions, because sometimes your guard, a lot of time, well, all the time, family, but especially a specific moment, your guardian angels, the Creator, is always looking out for you. So they woke you up because they knew if you stayed asleep at this moment, you would go down further and it would set you back. So they helped you. So the more you help your true self and your inner self, the more you help the Creator, family, creation, the more creation will help you. But if you always doing you and listen, I'm letting you know, at some point, the Creator won't even, at those times where they would have woke you up so you didn't go down lower, eventually, if you continue to show them that you don't listen, they're going to let you go further and further. Only you can get yourself out at the end of the day. You have to make a conscious choice, because it's free will. Okay. Now we are calling out from the 9th dimension. Now we are calling out from the 9th dimension. For now we will open the universe up to the 18th dimension. At present, your cells are being habituated to the energy of the 6th dimension in your sleep. This is an engraftment method. Our world sisters and brothers will come to us in the framework of their responsibilities. Our world brothers and sisters will come to us in the framework of their responsibilities. Our world sisters and brothers will come to us in the framework of their responsibilities. will be taken. It's just that was a run-on. That was a horrible sentence, family. I'll probably. You know what? Let me not talk Natalie. Let me not complain. Let me just. I apologize. Respect. Our world sisters and brothers will come to us in the framework of their responsibilities. Will be taken in UFOs, and unknown mediums will be introduced to them. Hold on. Our world brothers and sisters will come to us in the framework of their responsibilities. Will be taken in UFOs, and unknown mediums will be introduced to them, one by one. Their health problems will be reinforced through simple methods, and their physical constitutions will be returned to their former health, only deserving ones. Now, we would also like to transmit an important point to you. Let us define the original reason to our friends who have not been able to digest the given messages, among whom some have thrown themselves into the embrace of fear with the medium of uneasiness. All the religious books dictated to your world until today carry very high frequencies. These frequencies of knowledge are even higher than those. Types of literature such as novel, story, and poem written by our friends who are on the world level and who, all religious books dictated to your world until today carry very high frequencies. These frequencies of knowledge are even higher than those. Types of literature such as novel, story, and poem written by our friends who are on the world level and who write them in the direction of their brain frequencies are read very comfortably and liked by everyone since they conform with the world frequency. Other words, they write books from a fleshly level instead of a spiritual level, or a combination of both. Each writing possesses a frequency power in proportion with the degree of knowledge it transmits to you. If your brain frequency has not been able to reach certain frequencies, they charge you with a powerful energy and you become depressed. Those whose frequencies are measured are unified in the direction of the same frequency, and the rest are driven away. Hold on, I gotta start that again real quick, family. Each writing possesses a frequency power in proportion with the degree of knowledge it transmits. Each writing possesses a frequency power in proportion with the degree of knowledge it transmits to you. If your brain frequency has not been able to reach certain frequencies, they charge you with a powerful energy and you become depressed. Those whose frequencies are measured are unified in the direction of the same frequency, and the rest are driven away. They will be accepted into powerful mediums provided that their frequency powers rise. This is a necessity of the system. Humankind is being educated each second. In other words, family, what it's saying is, it's almost like, imagine me going up to someone right now who, they've done everything by the book as far as the world's saying with their life. They went to school, they graduated high school, went to college, got a degree, met a girl, got married, became a powerful lawyer. Everything, they're all about the finer things in life, physical things, right? Material things. So, but if I came to them one day and told them this is all a lie, like the world is flat, God is real. Matter of fact, God is in the room with you right now, watching you do everything, and He's actually writing it down, and you're gonna have to answer for it later. And if they actually realize that, and it was said to be true, and just for some reason, regardless, all this time, they didn't put no work in, they didn't believe anything about it, but just for some reason, it was just so true that it was proven in that moment. That depression is that reality of life hitting you. The reality that fakeness you delusion, the matrix you've been living all this time has actually been fake. It's been a distraction from the truth. And now you got to pay up. You got to pay the piper. And then you get sad because you've been living a lie all this time, but now you see the truth. So you get depressed because you're like, oh my God, it's all a lie. What I've been doing with my time, with my life. That's basically what it's talking about. So that's why so basically it's like giving someone information that they're mentally not ready to handle yet. This is where, once again, it talks about life being a test, because it's supposed to being born again, family, it's like a change of your mental state. Being born again is like a deeper level of understanding. Being born again is looking at life differently, even though it's through the same eyes. It's not through the same eyes because Your thought process, your spirit has evolved from the within. I'm not talking about physical change, but mentally inside. So you're walking through life differently. And for those who haven't gone through the work to get this knowledge, because what happens too, family, as you go through the work, finding this knowledge, it gives you time to accept the knowledge and digest it. Because if I just came in and told you, this whole time aliens, we've been lying the whole time, aliens are actually real, this and that is real, some people might have heart attacks, it might shock them, it'll mess them up because they took it like that instead of it being eased on them slowly through their own will and desire of study. Instead, it was just pushing them like that. So instead of it being accepted with like a breath of fresh air, like breathing that good prana, baby, it's more like a shock to your system, and it's met more with fear, because we fear what we don't understand or know. And even if you did understand that moment, you would fear, because once again, you'd realize how long you were living a lie, and you've only now met this truth. And look, let me keep going. I think I explained enough. Curiosity is the opening signal of your opening coat. In other words, read, family, study to make yourself approved. Don't just stay in one religious book, read them all. Curiosity is the opening signal of your opening coat. In this manner, you are supervised from mediums in which you can be awakened. When your brain power reaches a certain power, then you are kept under a Curiosity is the opening signal of your opening coat. In this manner, you are supervised from mediums in which you can be awakened. Curiosity is the opening signal of your opening coat. In this manner, you are supervised from mediums in which you can be awakened. When your brain power reaches a certain power, then you are kept under special supervision. You receive the knowledge carrying frequency powers of the mediums in which your brain energy cannot enter under the supervision of the special protective system. Basically what I was explaining. This also occurs by the legal supervision of the law of graduation. Vibrations you receive outside perceptions are the spiral waves. We call them the spiral vibrations. Sounds like downloads. Hold on, let me go back, family. I apologize. Curiosity is the opening signal of your opening coat. In this manner, you are supervised from mediums in which you can be awakened. When your brain power reaches a certain power, then you are kept under a special supervision. You receive the knowledge carrying frequency powers of the medium into which your brain energy cannot enter under the supervision of the special protective system. This also occurs by the legal supervision of the law of graduation. Like I was saying, the law of graduation. As you study, your spirit and mind starts to gradually accept the truth. Graduation. Vibrations you receive outside perception are the spiral waves. Vibrations you receive outside perception are the spiral waves. We call them the spiral vibrations. They pass through the volume magnetic field by being cleansed, are purified, and are conveyed to you under the supervision of a blurred fog stratum. The fog stratum, in other words, it's like when I get a download in my mind and it's taking me time to decipher it, whatever. It's like that, like when they talk about meditating and while you silence your mind so those downloads can appear in your mind, so you know it's not your thoughts, so you know where it's coming from. So you silence yourself so it doesn't conflict with your own personal thoughts. Because sometimes you're so much in your own thoughts, you get a download, but you don't know you get it because you're so deep in your own thought that you miss the message. So that's another thing it's saying right now. So know it comes in a fog. So it doesn't, just because I get a download now doesn't mean I instantly know what it is. Sometimes I might have to sit there and meditate on a minute and really sit there and be quiet and think and let it manifest completely within my mind, within my spirit. The fog stratum is a lead white vapor that protects your spirit vibrations. That is, it is a kind of cloud. Knowledge showers falling from this cloud will make your brain fields verdant. This method is applied only to the knowledge frequencies beyond the sixth dimension, and our mediumist friends are not shaken in any way. Friends who try to enter different dimensions unknown to them by their own powers, without our supervision, are thrown to the threshold of spiritual shocks and depressions. In this manner, and their brain fuses are blown. In other words, like people talking about earlier, astral projection. You know how the Bible says you cannot get to the Father unless you go through the Son? You know, do not come in unless invited. Do not go to the spiritual realm unless you go through Yahusha. This is what it's saying. Because You might go into the spiritual realm and you might see something you're not supposed to see. Something that you mentally are not prepared to handle. Like Creator says, I won't give you anything you can't handle. So you astral project and go see something you're not supposed to see, and next thing you messed up for life. And people might say, oh, he possessed by a demon or something, but what it is it's just you saw something that you weren't ready to accept or comprehend yet. So now you are depressed because you don't know what to make of what you saw, instead of taking the time and going through it the right way, so you gradually make it there. So by the time you see it, like for instance, when I was first, when I used to be Christian back in the day where I raised, you couldn't tell me nothing about reincarnation. I'm like, hell no, that's crazy. That's that stupid, that crazy stuff. That's them pagan religion. But now, since I've taken time to study, and stuff has had time to marinate. I've meditated. I've asked God about it. I prayed. Literally fasted, family. I'm talking about fasting. I put work in. Yo, you can't take nothing from me. Only the Most High can take from me. And the Most High not going to. Because I'm already here. Once you there, family, this is nothing about knowledge. Once you get it, it's too late. You can't go back. Once you know, you know. That's when it comes back to that sinning willfully. Because in your spirit, you know the truth now. But you continue to do it, that's when you mess up. Anyway, this method, okay, during spiritual sessions, there is, without fail, the necessity for a spiritual operator who carries a higher frequency than the frequency of the medium. His or her energy keeps your frequencies under supervision. Knowledge received in this way is sound, and that person is not shaken in any way. We are obliged to notify all this to our certain curious friends. All the happiness is for our terrestrial brothers and sisters with our love. Beings on the highest firmament have collaborated for you with all their goodwill. These dictated messages are a command of the divine, and this is a universal mobilization. All the offerings you receive are filtered by many seats of authority and are conveyed to you by being dictated through the direct channel Alpha. We have received the command to open all the secrets of the universe to you. You are yet uniformed about the miraculous medium here. You know that evolvement is connected to the yield of the years. No one can be aware of the supremacy flowing through the centuries. Everyone is satisfied with the data in alignment with his or her medium. To go beyond these data frightens our terrestrial brothers and sisters. Hold on, let me read that again. You know that evolvement is connected to the yield of the years. In other words, as I was talking about earlier, going through at least 6 past lives, being reincarnated at least 6 times. You only get knowledge through trial, through application, through going through this probationary period. You know that evolvement is connected to the yield of years. No one can be aware of the supremacy flowing through the centuries. Everyone is satisfied with the data in alignment with his or her medium. To go beyond these data frightens our terrestrial brothers and sisters. Lately, connections. I'm not picking it. I'm squeezing. My nose is itching. Lately, connections have been enabled with our solar system. Lately, connections have been enabled with the other solar systems too. For now, we will provide this meditation. When the time comes, the evolvement of your century develops by this means. Lately, connections have been enabled with the other solar systems too. For now, we will provide this meditation. When the time comes, the evolvement of your century develops by this means. During the sincerity period, your places of prostration are your hearts. The places here are the shelter of assured people and are the home of learning and spiritual knowledge. Hold on. During the sincerity period, your places of prostration are your hearts. The places here, both, are the shelter, because you feel a lot of emotion right here, but your thoughts, your conscience is here. During the sincerity period, your places of prostration are your hearts. The places here are the shelter of assured people and are the home of learning and spiritual knowledge. We desire to unify all our terrestrial brothers and sisters here. The lights of our Lord are upon you with our love. In other words, family, this is why it's the Bible and in a lot of in all the religions talk about letting go of forgiving and letting go, because you can't let that heaviness sit on your heart. Because remember, if that sit on your heart, you got all types of thoughts going in your head, and you can't hear your downloads because you got so much on your mind, on your heart. So you got to let it go so you can move forward. You gotta move on. You know, like you said, learn from your mistakes, self-reflection, grow. Notice to the entire universe, our friends. Some of our friends use tact to achieve an end. Their fears of being deprived of the friends at their elbow. We beg their pardon, but this too is nothing but the satisfaction of the ego. In other words, family, when you're really on this path, you're going to lose friends, family members, people going to call you crazy. It's just part of it. It gets lonely. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're better off than most. You're going to be blessed beyond measure. Stay on the path. Keep searching. Keep faith. It is a beautiful thing to give knowledge and to receive knowledge. But the patience that was shown by our friends in the divine medium, who are masters of patience, cannot be shown during this period. All our effort is for you, but you still are singing the same old songs. Do not forget that this behavior of yours does not provide any benefit for you at all. Convey what you know clearly without any fear to your friends. This is what we require. Our goal is to measure the thought frequencies of humans in this direction. Some of our friends act in the direction of their own thought frequencies and cannot assist us. In the next 2 years, we will put the world order into an orbit. And if you still continue to shield the truths, you cannot awaken anyone and you cannot save anyone by assisting them. Hold on. Our goal is to measure the thought frequencies of humans in this direction. Okay, all of our efforts is for you, but you still are singing the same old songs. Do not forget that this behavior of yours does not provide any benefit for you at all. Convey what you know clearly without any fear to your friends. This is what we require. In other words, like I'm doing now, and I still do it time I hesitate. It don't matter what they think. Say what you need to say. And if they leave, then they leave. But know that you're blessed, because you'll be punished if you don't pass the message on. Our goal is to measure the thought frequencies of humans in this direction. Some of our friends act in the direction of their own thought frequencies and cannot assist us. In the next 2 years, we will put the world order into an orbit. And if you still continue to shield the truths, you cannot awaken anyone and you cannot save anyone by assisting them. Some sleeps are driven away by shocks. Try it and you will prove us right. If you love a cat, it will love you too. This cannot expose the real self. Do not be afraid of being scratched. Genuine friends tell the bitter truth for your own good. I want to explain this, why I say this too, family. You have to understand what true love is. True love is not just that feeling. Love is different aspects. 3 main aspects: respect, passion, and joy. So in other words, when you understand it like that, of course a cat can respect you, can have passion for you, have joy for you. Especially if you're feeding it all the time, giving a roof over your head, it lives in your house. But stop feeding that cat. You know what I'm saying? Stop taking care of it and see how nice that cat is and how often. Matter of fact, it'll probably run away. So there goes your unconditional love. Love, so-called love, is conditional. It's not how you feel, because your feelings are unconditional. If love is supposed to be unconditional, then by default, how you feel is wrong then. Because how you feel changes from moment to moment. It's not constant. Some sleeps are driven away by shocks. Try it and you will prove us right. If you love a cat, it will love you too. This cannot expose the real self. Do not be afraid of being scratched. Genuine friends tell the bitter truth for your own good. In other words, if you love me, you'll tell me the truth, even if it hurts. However, the frequency and the views of our human brothers and sisters who are taken outside the direction of thought as necessitated by the medium are very significant for us. This is the degree of the urgency. Your style of action should not be in the direction of the medium. You should attract your medium in the direction of universal consciousness. You should help your brothers and sisters in this respect. However, the frequency and the views of our human brothers and sisters who are taken outside the direction of thought as necessitated by the medium are very significant for us. This is the degree of the urgency. Your style of action should not be in the direction of the medium. You should attract your medium in the direction of universal consciousness. You should help your brothers and sisters in this respect. Oh, okay. In other words, If I'm accepting this knowledge and understanding, I should no longer be going out, whether I follow so-called religion of Islam, Christianity, or Buddhism. I should not no longer go out saying, oh, I'm a Christian, I follow Islam, or I'm a Buddhist, and this is the truth, and I'm teaching from this, and this is because this is the only truth from this way. No, now you're going out and taking all that truth, putting together, and being like, okay, this is the overall truth from the Creator. You're the wise people. You're not held to the standard of any organization because they're giving you money. Your only allegiance is to the Creator. Pure truth. No religions, no organizations. This is what we're talking about. However, the frequency and the views of our human brothers and sisters who are taken outside the direction of thought as necessitated by the medium are very significant for us. This is the degree of the urgency. Your style of action should not be in the direction of the medium. You should attract your medium in the direction of the universal consciousness. You should help your brothers and sisters in this respect. Or if you're a church, talk to your brothers and sisters. Maybe introduce them to books like this. We explain everything, but I wouldn't necessarily suggest that because, don't be careful not to impede on people's free will. Don't force nothing. You don't force nothing on nobody. But I'm talking about passing conversations just in case, there might be people in there thinking like you just don't know it because they're afraid to say something. We explain everything very clearly. Our friends who comprehend us will also be comprehended by their own friends. We are sure of this. The medium is not the medium of the Middle Ages. You are in an evolvement beyond religion. Do not ever forget this. Remember it always, our friends, with our love. This message, which is dictated from Mercury, is given by the command of the emissaries of the divine realm. This Mercury, a dead planet, and now it is used as a base. Those who know these places should convey them to those who do not know, so that the world human can comprehend what space and the firmament are. It's not what you think, family. It's not what they've been telling us. Our earnest recommendations to our friends are that they should never mix imagination with their thoughts. They should not add anything to what they read. They should please not change the nature of the book. Some of you make certain changes necessitated by society in the notes you write in your notebooks. You may be right according to your present circumstances, but do not forget that this book in your hands is not mirroring the past but the future to you. Now setting out on this path, we would like to make some more explanations, family, about religion to you. Religions are suggestions, the nature of which is to elevate the moral of society. To our friends who will pass their final humanity examination, which we call the first step taken forward into salvation, very beautiful messages will be given, provided that they cross the first bridge in front of them. This book, which has been dictated in great secrecy for 20 years, has been kept veiled to everyone until today. However, when the time came in the world, year 1, January 11, 1981, when the first commandment of the Golden Age was received, only the commands given were distributed to the universe. Now, after a 3-year period of waiting, society has been prepared, and the command has been given that the book should be directly written and propagated as of January 1st, 1984. Henceforth, the book is being propagated to the universe, fascule by fascule in this manner. At present, in countries abroad, we have 18 centers other than our ready coat. Our friends who perform missions telepathically are propagating and will propagate the messages. Please believe, in other words, guardian angels, when you get downloads, that's the friends they're talking about. They're all around us. Even you sitting here watching me, and you might be watching this days after recorded. It's like I'm seeing into the future, you seeing into the past. And your guardian angel is right now talking to my guardian angel. They talking to each other, they sharing, they like, yo, what's up? I see you. I see you seeing me. I see you seeing me, even though we can't even see it. Please believe the seriousness of our words and convey these words to ours. Okay, please believe the seriousness of our words and convey these words of ours to your friends who are in doubt. Now, let us explain the reason why it has been waited for 3 years after the first commandment to you. This was a formation period of a development in your public opinion, and that is why it has been awaited. As a matter of fact, at the moment, our light friend, the Pope, is building the biggest mosque of Europe in Rome. He is the first responsible one who has attained this consciousness on the path of world brotherhood. He is trying to unify humanity with all his endeavors. Our gratitude is okay, family. Know this. Everything has been touched by the enemy. It's not the Pope. The enemy, it's nobody physical. It's spiritual things. This is the enemy. There's really two different societies at play right now, family, from the beginning of the universe until now. That's the priest of Mahan, that's the priest of Mahan and the priest of Melchizedek. The priest of Melchizedek serving creation, the creator, and the priest of Mahan serving the flesh, serving the so-called title of Satan, serving the self, serving what's best for you, what you want, only what you want and need, but not worrying about anyone else. So you have to be able to help to decipher, family. Know that every book's been changed, but this is why you meditate. This is why you read. This is why you study, make yourself approved. Like, for instance, in the Bible, the original term was not church, it was assembly. And when you look at these both words and look at them in the dictionary, they both have two different meanings. So if you're reading the Bible and the word church keeps coming up, it's going to change the whole perception. Otherwise, if you read it with the original term assembly, it has it has the right perception, the right understanding, which gives you the right picture. When you see the word church, you think a building that you got to give somebody money so they can pay rent. When you think assembly, the Bible says where two or more come together, my spirit will abide. You assembling. Me and you could be assembling outside of the park, talking about creation. That's us assembling. It don't have to be in a building with a bunch of nice walls and stuff. That's man. That's man said all that came from the ground, the earth. It's all minerals. As a matter of fact, at the moment our light friend, the Pope, is building. As a matter of fact, at the moment our light friend, the Pope, is building the biggest mosque of Europe and Rome. Yeah, they building a lie trying to mix Christianity and Islam together to keep y'all in slavery. He is the first responsible one who has attained this consciousness on the path of the world brotherhood. He is trying to unify humanity with all his endeavors. Our gratitude is infinite. In other words, family, the Pope and them, it's like the movie Infinite. They know the truth, but they hide the truth from the masses to keep us in slavery. He didn't just get it, he been had it. It's just like I said, family, they see that this truth is starting to come out on a greater level, and they're trying to get ahead of the game and capture people before they get free of religion by claiming that they're getting free religion by combining the religions, when all they're doing is doing the same thing. They're just creating a super religion. In other words, a super slave master. His goal has been misunderstood in certain fanatic circles. Hold on. As a matter of fact, at the moment, our light friend, the Pope, is building the biggest mosque of Europe and Rome. He is the first responsible one who has attained this consciousness on the path of world brotherhood. He is trying to unify humanity with all his endeavor. Our gratitude is infinite. And also, family, they could be talking about someone else in the world right now. Once again, if you looking at the title and the clothes and the cars and the money, that'll lead you astray. This person they talking about could be some random person living in South America right now, setting up something, and they don't even know what they're doing right now. His goal has been misunderstood in certain fanatic circles. What he is doing is not a religious propaganda, but a propaganda of humanity. We declare this to the public opinion. From now on, for their own good, we are determined to notify our terrestrial brothers and sisters through this book about their incorrect steps going astray from the path of brotherhood, sisterhood, our friends. Salutations and love from us on behalf of the Supreme Assembly of Light. Notice to our terrestrial brothers and sisters, our friends. Once messages given tantamount to public consciousness, our friends, once messages given tantamount to public consciousness have constituted your religious books as a necessity of the medium. Hold on. Our friends, once messages given tantamount to public consciousness have constituted your religious books as a necessity of the medium. In other words, you let public opinion interfere with the creator's opinion. Those messages were projected to you through the Enlightenment Channel Alpha by our light friends with the goal of putting societies on the right track. They are your prophets. The words in the messages necessitated by those periods have put our human brothers and sisters, hold on. Let me start all over. Once messages given tantamount to public conscious, our friends, once messages given tantamount to public consciousness have constituted your religious books as a necessity of the medium. Those messages were projected to you through the Enlightenment Channel Alpha by our light friends with the goal of putting societies on the right track. They are your prophets. Oh, okay, my bad. I take back what I said. I got that wrong. That's why I read it. Once messages given tantamount to public consciousness have constituted your religious books as a necessity of the medium. In other words, they gave books that made sense to your way of life, to people's way of life at that time, to where they can understand it through the medium that those people respected the word from. So maybe they had like a king, so that king might have took now the place and called himself a high priest king. So now the people listen to him, teach them about God, because that's the only way they can understand it. Because remember, they're not listening to the message that's being put in your head, because you got so much stuff in there that you don't even understand what's going on. You know, those messages were projected to you through the. So I apologize for getting that wrong. I had to read it again. Those messages were projected to you through the Enlightenment Channel Alpha by our light friends with the goal of putting societies on the right track. They are your prophets. The words in the messages necessitated by those periods have put our human brothers and sisters in such a narrow frame that this conditioning has narrowed the range of their sights, and they still cannot see the future. In other words, like once again, family, like it was saying in other words, if you stay how God made you, you'll never grow. This doesn't mean go outside of God's word and start doing evil stuff and hurting people. It means getting understanding of why you're doing these, instead of just doing them blindly now because of religion. Now as you do these things and walk in a way of righteousness, now you understand why you're doing it, instead of just doing it to do it like a drone because you were raised that way because your parents told you to. But you do it now out of understanding and respect, true respect for the Creator. All our terrestrial brothers and sisters know that the Quran is the final and most matured religious book, and the period of prophets ended with our light friend Muhammad Mustafa, who was the final prophet. A certain time frame has been recognized for all religious messages given from the Enlightenment Channel so that they could mirror their genuine meaning to society. For this reason, the Quran mirrored the period up to the year 1999 to you. The 1500 world years that have passed. A certain time frame has been recognized for all the religious messages given from the Enlightenment Channel so that they could mirror their genuine meaning to society. For this reason, the Quran mirrored the period up to the year 1999 to you. The 1500 world years that have passed formed positive and negative consciousness in society. Beside this, a social view has been settled in the entire universe. And this is a triumph of the religious books revealed from the Enlightenment Channel. In other words, seeds are planted and they grew over time. And now we're at the time where, as what in Revelations as it says, cutting the chaff, cutting the good wheat from the chaff. In other words, cutting the chaff away from the good wheat so the chaff doesn't choke out the good wheat so that we have a good harvest. Hence, so in other words, pretty soon, the true woke people are about to be harvested. I don't know in what way or shape or form or how. Like I said, it don't have to be nothing like movies. It could just, like I said, we might not even notice it. We matter of fact, it could be 5 years from now, and it could take you 5 years to even notice that creation answered your prayers. Henceforth, after a period of 15 centuries that has passed, we are getting in connection with our terrestrial brothers and sisters directly. Our terrestrial brothers and sisters do not know yet the positive or negative aspects of certain suggestions brought to them during this time. We would like to Our terrestrial brothers and sisters do not know yet the positive or negative aspects of certain suggestions brought to them during this time. We would like to efface the misunderstanding in society. Everyone is free in his or her religion, in his or her views. The dictated book does not eliminate your religious books. On the contrary, it presents them to you in the framework of the truth, in a more comprehensible way, and only invites you to the genuine humanity code through the unification of consciousness. By the command of the divine we have received, we are notifying you about the progresses beyond religions through the direct channel of the Lord. We had said that the final book of the Quran was the last universal book. We use the same expression for this book also. 4. No other book about religion will be revealed to you anymore. This book will be our final book that will be revealed through the channel Alpha. 4. From now on, your actual book will be your conscience, your intellect, and your logic. This book has been revealed to awaken you from fanatic thoughts and dogmatic rules. It has been sent to remove the contradictions in your society, let alone demolishing your beliefs. It has been revealed to you to explain the nature of your books so that you may tread the path of light in the direction more consciously. In other words, family, not saying don't study, but taking you out of the mind frame, because, like, for instance, some people might have this frame, like, let's say you escape from Christianity. No, let's say you escape from Christianity or call yourself escape from Christianity. And then instead of going down the path of no religion but seeking the creator on your own, you now jump into Islam. Or you leave Islam and call yourself escaping Islam, and now you follow Christianity. So in other words, like the Bible says, when you're a man or an adult and you no longer let other people's doctrines push you and sway you left and right, to and fro, but you stand on the truth of the universe, the truth from the creator, and you can read all the books now with a view from the outside looking in and not being biased, so you can take all the wisdom and all the knowledge and not miss out because you're biased, because you sitting here saying I'm only team Christian, or I'm only team Islam, or I'm only team Buddhist. So basically, that's what it's saying right there too. So stuff is changing, fam. Okay. Alright, I'm going to stop there, fam. We've been in here almost 2 hours now. That was a good read. Alright, family, I'll catch y'all later. I enjoyed you, and as usual, I'm a wise, wealthy, rich, celestial being that is loved by the Most High Creator. Catch you later, family. Be blessed. Shalom.